Coffee?
It's really good coffee. What kind of coffee is it?
Damn, I don't know.
It's good.
It's a combination of espresso roast and regular premium coffee, commercial coffee. Restaurant stuff, like.
This is an amazing coffee urn sitting in the middle of, on the rocks, in the middle of the grass, and it's like, this must make about 100 cups of coffee?
Yeah, 5 gallons or so.
5 gallons? I should just tell you to set the scene that we're in the middle of the Allegheny forest. Just relax, take a deep breath. We're in the middle of woods 2.5 miles from any car. We're in the middle of a hill where a huge coffee urn is sitting and people are beginning to sort of get up, climb out of their sleeping bags. Beautiful. Coffee, honey. And how does the money come in for this coffee?
Well, Rainbow brother that's been living fairly poor for the last few years happened to win the California lottery for $100 grand.
And so he bought this coffee.
Lots of coffee.
Don't believe it, man. This word says he's on drugs.
No, we're not having. What's the most wonderful thing about coming to the gathering?
Seeing that people can live in harmony, Like, I've been to 5 gatherings, I've never seen a fist fight. You see 30,000 people together, nobody fights. There's something going on that isn't happening everywhere else. Any other large group of people, there's violence or a lot of anger, and we suppress our anger, because it's important that we do,
I don't know if we suppress it, we just release it creatively, I think. Because the thing is, it doesn't come out as a hostile force, necessarily.
How many gatherings have you been to?
This is my first.
What was it like when you first came in?
Blew me away entirely. I was out there, out in the on the highway, they had the park miles away from the gathering, waiting for I'd been driving all night, and I was waiting for our shuttle to take us in here. And I walk out, I stumble over to the fire, and there's this guy there with these huge crystals, these immense crystals. He has this crystal ball. He's got all these quartz crystals. He gives me a tarot reading. It was like, this was all within 10 minutes of arriving.
The first thing that happened to you when you came in?
People say, the first thing that happened, the very first thing, is a man walked up to me, whose name was Am, and just hugged me. Very first thing. He says, "Hi, I'm Am," and walked over and gave me a hug. And then people just offered me things, and it's just sort of like, wow. I knew I was here.
Learning how to love more, learning how to put other people in front of yourself. That's the hard one. That's true love, is when you think more of another person's welfare than you do your own. And that's a real hard one. It's the hardest thing anybody's ever going to do on this earth, if you because a lot of people think it's anti-survival, but it's not anti-survival, it's pro-survival.
That's what survival's about. The big thing I think is also letting go. Letting go of fear, letting go of tensions, letting go of worries, letting go of, what is this person going to think? If I say hello to them, if I give them a hug, what are they going to think? That's the outside world kind of concept. Over here, it's like, you don't have to worry about that. It's like, it's okay, you just relax, you just let everything hang out, you take your clothes off if you feel like you do whatever you want, and everyone's cool about it.
See, the Rainbow Game Plan is to have a gathering in every state in this country until we're done with that, and then every country in the world until we achieve world peace, And if it takes all our lives and our children's lives, if we accomplish it, then we've done what we're supposed to do,
And even if we get nuked in the meantime, the important thing is that we are making life meaningful and enjoyable and filling the world with love for as long as it's around. The important thing is the quality of living. Here and now.
They're having a European gathering, a 4th European gathering between Spain and France right now. And hopefully we'll get an Asian gathering going and an African, all the continents. And, eventually we will conquer through love and peace. And we will. Eventually we're going to lay down our guns. And that's what we're going for. That's what we're going to do. Ain't no...
And in your view, have you seen, because of these gatherings, have you seen lives change?
Oh, certainly. Mine has. Totally. Like, when I came to the gathering, the first time in Washington in 81, people said, "You're not Rainbow, you don't want to go there, you don't want to hang out with those hippies, because I was like a hardcore street guy, living in the city, shooting dope, and you've seen how many women I could convince, and things like that, and I changed totally. because I found out that there were many people just like me that didn't need that, didn't need to own a gun or own a weapon, to feel safe. You don't have to, you find out that there's a whole rainbow network, and I've been all over the country. I travel constantly, and everywhere I go, I meet rainbow people, and they say, yeah, what do you need,
How is your relationship with the parks? The people, the officialdom here.
Well, so far, the people in Pennsylvania have been more than cooperative.
Really?
As a
Because I
matter
know
of
in the
fact-
past there have been some problems and stuff.
Right. Well, this year, so far, everything's been copacetic. And they're actually enjoying the gathering as much as we are, most of them.
Really? They're hanging out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A couple of them are. I'll introduce you to them on the track here.
Great.
Very realistic dream. We can make it work if we all work together. Tribes existed for thousands of years on a hell of a lot of less resources than what we have. So, as far as tribes are concerned, we're a pretty together tribe. And we represent the right things.
Peace, love. What else?
Peace, love, unity, feeding the people, spirituality, cleansing the soul, and healing the body.
Did you get a donut?
Oh, I did. It was like the best thing I've had since Italian street fair. Oh, the kind where they throw it in boiling water, right? Throw it in boiling water.
Yeah, the big pot. No, there's a wooden ladle there to stir with.
Actually, you know what we could do before I talk to you? Could you give me a radio tour of your kitchen?
Go ahead, just look around, walk around.
What's here?
Well, we have a Formica table over there that the women are cutting vegetables on. We can get 4, sometimes 5 people. And through this, we can get enough veggies turned out so that we can meet our quota for the main circle, a big pot of soup or whatever we have on hand, and still have enough left over that when we get this fixed and sent up, we get ours on here for the camp. And we try to feed all God's people.
How many people do you feed, do you think?
I have no idea. There's no way to count. You feed until the pot's empty. And when it's empty, then you wash it out and start again.
Everybody calls you Mom?
Yeah, yeah.
And how long have you been involved with the Rainbow family?
Since last year. It was the Rainbow's 14th year last year in Missouri, and it was my 14th year in a restaurant. And I closed the restaurant up and opened a kitchen up at the Rainbow Gathering. And this is my second kitchen at the Rainbow Gathering, second national.
What brought you here?
My love for people. My love for people. All people.
What are the things that you can do here that you couldn't do in your restaurant?
You just do it in a bigger way here. You can touch more lives here, which in turn can touch more lives and spread the love of God throughout. I could do it in my restaurant, but it was done in a small way. And you have to learn in a small way before you can reach out in a big way.
I've heard people say that you take care of a lot of rainbow children.
I try to, with God's help. With God's help.
What kind of care?
Well, the only care you can give is love for the spirit or for the body. You can't have one without the other. The spiritual strength comes from the body strength also.
And so food is a holy thing.
Very holy. Very holy. It is a very holy place, the kitchen, and it should be treated as such by all people. It's a place of love in the kitchen, as it should be. But it's also a place of bitching, too, because you get rid of the airs. Right, right. You find out what's bugging people for the day, you know, get it out in the open, and maybe we can solve some of it. Yeah.
How do you get the food?
Magic. Sheer magic. Each morning I go up to find out what's in stock and what we can put together with the veggies, which grains go with which grains. And it's totally new to me because I'm a meat eater. And fooling with vegetables at the Rainbow Gathering is the only time I get to.
Is this a vegetarian kitchen?
Yes, yes. And trying to make it taste like meat is almost impossible.
So you're an omnivore, basically. Eat anything around.
Right. Yes, not too much.
And who gives the food?
Who gives it? The people donate to the Magic Hat, and a lot of the supplies are bought this way. And then a lot of the churches and various clubs and groups bring food to the gathering, which is given out to the kitchens. And to me, it's magic. You have to talk to the other people because I've always been in the kitchen. I don't know what goes on out there. I handle the kitchen details. We had hard-boiled eggs and some type of vegetable patty that I've never tasted before, and I don't think I want to again.
And this is a wood-burning fireplace you've constructed and bowls of,
This is beans with potatoes and a lot of hot peppers in there. We're cooking it down so we can eat it about noon to get the pot washed so we can make a big pot to send up to the main circle. It takes all three of these to send to the main circle, and then we start our three for feeding here. And whatever comes in is what goes into the pot. This is onions, beans, and potatoes with hot peppers and chili powder and cayenne and cumin and oregano and garlic and just whatever we can put in. That is rice and potatoes and carrots and onions boiling right now with oregano and celery. And they're dicing up cabbage. And we have broccoli and cauliflower and corn. And then we'll find out what comes in on supplies to add to it, and it'll be a magic stew. I've always wanted a cauldron, and now I know what it's like to stir one.
This is your first gathering?
Yes.
And tell me about how the last ones you didn't tell me what you said before. You know.
Well, I've been hearing about it for years. You know, the Rainbow Gathering, and last year I was going to make it. And both my legs were busted, and I was in a wheelchair and didn't get to make it. And I told myself, well, I said, I'm going to make it next year's. And it took me 4 weeks. It took me 3 days to find it, but it took me 4 weeks to get here.
How did you get here?
By car, hitchhiking. I blew up the car in 22 miles out of Columbus, Ohio.
Where are you from?
Tucson, Arizona.
And can I ask you how old you are?
58.
What's your feeling about it now that you're here?
I love it. It's beautiful.
What was it like when you entered? What happened?
Welcome home. Welcome home.
No, I'll be out here, Marco. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
Okay. Welcome home. It was what happened? They said.
They said, welcome home. Got to go down there and turn around and park. And he says, they'll shuttle us in.
Did you feel anything special when they said welcome home?
Yes, I did. I felt like I was home. You could just feel the love in them, you know. It was really too much. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I haven't been relaxed like this in years.
What do you think of the Rainbow Gathering?
It's fun.
You having a good time?
Yeah.
What's the best thing?
You might like that spider rope climb right over there, the spider web.
Oh, look at that.
That's a spider web for all the little boys your size. Climb up on it. It's like a monkey bars.
Girls too.
Yep. Girls too.
How do you like the Rainbow Gathering? What's the best thing?
I think the spider web.
You been on it?
Yeah, couple times.
Maybe the best thing to do is to tell me about security and how that operates in Shantasina and how, what that all is.
Well, Shantasina is an Indian word. It means peaceful place, and it was started in India. And we call ourselves Shantasina, which are the peacekeepers. We totally take care of all of our own internal problems. State police, local police are requested not to come into the gathering. We handle anything that happens here. Nothing as serious has happened this year. Mostly it doesn't. Mostly we're just around for squabbles, and somebody's got somebody's cooking pan in somebody's kitchen and somebody else wants it, and little things like that. There are serious things that crop up occasionally, and we deal with that, and only when absolutely necessary do we go to outside sources. Like one gathering, we found out we had a confirmed murderer hiding in the gathering, and so something like that. Then of course outside authorities are brought in, but other than that, we're a sovereign nation. We have our gathering once a year because we're not a nation that's together yet. We're a nation that's gathering, and we take care of our own. Even in towns, we talk with local police. We do a lot of PR work. At least 6 months before the gathering, we're going in and doing PR work in the local surrounding towns. And if some of our brothers and sisters go into town and they get into some kind of trouble, there again, we request that they notify us so that we can come in and take care of it if we don't have people in the towns.
What's your name, by the way?
My name is Little White Owl.
Little White Owl. And for this gathering, what kind of preparatory work did you do?
Well, it's basically the same thing. It's mostly public relations, because when we come into an area, now it's not quite, people are frightened. They don't understand who we are. In California, they ask us if we were like Rajneesh and we were coming in to take over their town. Because anywhere we go, it's not so true this year because of Pennsylvania and the fact we're in a smaller eastern township. But normally anywhere we go at the gathering, we can triple and quadruple the size of the nearest town. And these people were different. Our lifestyles are different, and they don't understand, and there's some apprehension. And so we just go in and we talk to officials, we talk to the people, we talk to the store people and tell them the things that will sell most. And we've been well received in Pennsylvania. The people are just beautiful here. It's the easiest gathering I've ever seen.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Tony Pizzante.
And what do you do in Sheffield?
I own a restaurant.
And how did you end up here at the Rainbow Gathering?
Well, number one, I like people. The more the better. Number two, Sheffield's an awful small town. And number three, these are my people up here, my kind of people.
And what does that mean?
Beautiful people. Just beautiful people. Very friendly, very nice. My eyes are stinging like a son of a gun.
What are you creating here in this big can here?
Soup with, or I don't know whether it's a soup or not, but it's got lima beans in it and split peas and rice and some broth and now some garlic and some spices, and we're trying to fix this up to feed the crowd.
Is the community in Sheffield divided over this gathering, would you say?
Absolutely not. I think maybe 10% are a little leery, and the rest of us are real excited, okay? Everybody that has been in my place has been absolutely fantastic. Outside of not wearing shoes, okay? You got to wear shoes in the state of Pennsylvania. But that's it.
Thanks.
And shirts.
Start again.
Coming here is like, getting away from everything, and you can relax here. You don't have no hassles, and you can actually do whatever you want to do, see?
That's something that doesn't usually happen to you in your life.
Oh, yeah, you can't do what you want to do, or what they call here is doing your own thing. That's what everybody does, and you don't do that in the city, and you don't do it in a lot of towns. Here you can be whatever you want to be. You can act any way you want to act, and as you'll see when you walk around, you'll see people doing you know, that's their thing. And it's fine. It may not be mine, but it's theirs. And so this is really a place where you can come and just kick back for a week. We're going to stay a week. And then when we leave here, I forget everything outside except what's here and just let, you know, things happen as they happen.
Is this your first gathering, or have you been down?
My second one. And I went for 2 weeks, my last one, and I enjoyed it. It was different than this. This was in Arizona last year. And,
how was it different?
Well, it was rainy up here, and down there it was dry. And, of course, the people are the same, and the people here are truly, you know, they're good people, and they're people that care. You can call them your brothers, you can call them your sisters, and they, in return, you know, you're related in not like, you know, blood or something like that, but you still know that there's a, you know, bond between you. And that's what's so beautiful here, like our kitchens and that. And we come in and we do all of our potatoes. It's nothing, you know, for us to do those and that, and helping other people that come in.
What, where are you from?
From Greenville, South Carolina. That's exactly where I'm from.
And without saying anything you don't want to say, what kind of a life do you lead in Greenville?
I'm an electrician. I get 2 weeks a year off. This is one of them right here. So we get away. And I chose to come up here. I heard about it last month, and I decided, well, I'm going to come here, you know, for my 1 week. And I wanted to go out west for 2 weeks, and I spent a week in Wheeling with my family, and then I came up here for my other week. And when I go back, I still have 2 days, so.
You might need 2 days to readjust.
Probably, yes, but I just love it. It's like being in another world in itself, and being with your kind of people. And we have a lot of vets here. There's a few here that I run in that I was in the service with, in Vietnam with, and they're laid back too. And so it's a life.
One other question, and that is, when you first arrived, what happens?
Oh, when you first get here? Well, you're welcomed, first of all, and usually you'll bump into somebody that either knows you or knows whoever you're with, and they welcome you. They say, "Welcome home, brothers." And you go up and you park, and then you're shuttled to here, and then you're told what direction to go, and when you get into the main camp, then we call it plugging in. You plug in with whoever you want to. In other words, you plug in what you can identify with. If you're a Krishner, or you're a moon dancer, or you're a cooperation or something like that, then you'll plug into that. Or if you're an armament group or you're a protesting group, you plug into it.
Who have you plugged into?
I plugged in right here to Earth Mothers, because they're down-to-earth people, and you know, I can identify with them.
Great. Thank you very much. A little bit about the street show. Wow. This is quite what a scene. This is an amazing structure.
Even got an upstairs to it.
This is an amazing structure.
Yeah, it took about 3.5 weeks.
Pretty much the only meat kitchen out here.
Uh-huh, for us omnivores, eh?
Yeah.
Hey.
This one and the Shaughnessy camp cooked meat, I think.
Yeah.
And who here comes here?
Everybody. I mean, we'll feed anybody who comes.
Brother Harry.
Brother Harry. Let me ask you how long you've been involved with the Rainbow Family.
This is my 7th gathering. I missed one, but this is my 7th.
And how did you come to hook up?
Well, I've known a lot about, I've been part of the family for a good 10 years. Well, they ran me out of Key West is what happened. We had a rainbow gathering on the Keys down there. We had a whole island. I had permission to stay. Beautiful. We had 200 people living out there, free and happy, and big party. Living off the dumpsters in Key West. But police sent over some bully boys who killed one of our followers and got us all driven off. So we had to move out of there. And when they ran me out of there, I went to my first gathering in Arizona. This is Arizona by Alpine. Beautiful gathering. But I was hooked. They came in and somebody said, "Welcome home," and I've been in love ever since.
79, wasn't it, Harry?
Is that when? I don't know. 79? Yeah, I guess. I can lose track of the years. Since then, I've been a rainbow.
Have you been involved in Taco Village here?
Oh, yeah. Well, we've helping build. See that? We put that beam up there. Everybody was here.
You sat down
Come
here.
on,
I hollered at people.
No, I never do. I've never done that in my life.
Got told, "Get out of the way, Harry. We're gonna hit you with a beam."
Oh, come on.
Did you build this thing?
Bullshit.
Did you build this thing?
No, you weren't even here. You know, what are you talking
I
about?
had a couple I got here.
You don't put me down, man. That ain't helping nobody.
So tell me, you helped put this up? And
We've been here a month, and we set up all the trails. We've got this thing organized so that without any organization, so the supplies come in. That's why you have good food in all these kitchens, because our supply setup is we can zap everything right in. As soon as it comes in, we get it out to the people, feeding them. People walking around feeding oranges, and the bakery sends out cookies, and the table sitting around with crackers and cheese on it if you get hungry. Good coffee everywhere. This is, we're living in paradise here. Harmony with the earth and harmony with each other.
tell me about who created Taco Village, where you all come from, what?
Well, most of us have known each other from other camps. We do this year-round. We have land, like in Arizona, we had 100 acres, and I lived out there about 4 years, and off and on, come and go. Come to the gatherings and go back winter on our land. We also, we're everywhere. We're sailing. We have a fleet. That's my job this year, is to get the fleet going.
So there's a Rainbow family fleet.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Where does the food come from?
Well, we share. A whole lot of it is grown. Magic hack goes to South America. It goes up somebody's nose usually.
So tell me about your teepee and
Okay. Well, the teepee is best lived in a small size, a small teepee for people. Big teepees are ceremonial, big being 16 or 18 foot. This is a 12-foot teepee you're not seeing on your radio. And if you could see it, you'd realize, gee, it's just the right size for traveling. You can put it on a car, 2 people can carry it. It's light, a person can make it, it doesn't cost very much, and it's a lot of fun.
And how many people can sleep in it comfortably?
It depends on how well they like each other. But as many as 10 people have slept in it at night, and we've been sleeping 5 last night, I think.
4 looks pretty comfortable.
4 was pretty comfortable. 4 was pretty comfortable.
I noticed that there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teepees here, and they all seem to have clustered together. Do you have any sense of why that is?
Oh, because it's a lot of fun. Teepees look so good together. It's a great thing to take pictures of. They're also, teepees are infinite pyramids, which have the power of the pyramids. And when you sit in a teepee, you can very easily feel centered because it is a circular space. It does not have corners and walls like a square house. So even if you live in a house, you can have your teepee, especially a small one, in your front yard. And then whenever you want to be in a circle, you can do that. It's great to do with children because children like to be in circles because then they're included as equal members. Everybody can be an equal member of a family when you can all be in a circle.
We can talk, and I'll tell you later why we need background. Okay, what's your name?
Aaron.
And how many rainbow gatherings have you been to? Is this your first?
No, it's my third.
What do you think of them?
What?
How do you like them?
They're good.
What's the best thing about them?
The food and the kids have a lot of playthings and the moon dancers.
Ah, you go to...
Sorry, I made a mistake here. Sorry, little technical problem of having hit the wrong tape here.
People go there, and they have big circles called main circles that the people dance around and sing.
So what's the best thing about the gathering?
Well, it's one yearly party, and it's our way of symbolizing the anniversary of the Statue of Liberty, because I feel personally that that corporate-sponsored baloney Statue of Liberty festival they're having in New York City is a sham, because the government which is putting it on is the government which locks out Salvadorans, Mexicans, and other third world peoples who are escaping from fascist dictatorships. It is a hypocrisy to what the Statue of Liberty is really meant to be. The lady at the gateway of America, opening doors to all.
Thank you.
What's wrong with truth, huh? If it's right, it's right, huh? We don't need this. That's the trouble. We don't have enough truth. Huh?
You like NPR?
Let's have some real truth on it. If you're going to say it, put it out where it's at, huh?
Right.
Like here, we have peace and harmony except for what the police have brought in Chanticina, huh? They're running around with knives and threatening people, huh? And the police, the undercover police, is called Chanticina here in the gathering. Huh? We have that element, yeah, We don't need them. We don't need them at all in here. Our own security, huh? We don't need people running around threatening us with arrows and guns and big sabers, huh? It's not necessary to the gathering, and it's put on by the government. They've got their agents right in here. They set us up in this place. Which is all right. We're still having a party, you know. We don't mind. We have a great time, but we have that element here. It's strong in the rainbow, but not that strong. The people are stronger. We just ignore it. We live with them, and we're having a party. No violence and no. We love them too, you know.
I know that the rainbow gatherings have had a history of having some problems of, the right to gather and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we always had that element. See, the Chanticina and the council are very close in with the government, so they decide where we're going to gather, which is all right. It works out. We're in harmony with that. We're living in harmony with it. But
I heard something about at Michigan gathering.
See, they wanted it so they can control us. They've got, like, this place is totally surrounded by roads that they can come in on us if they want. I don't think they will. I'm not expecting any problems, but they definitely, they got 15 police cars out there on those roads too, you know. They brought in for the gathering, but they're not really bothering anybody. It's all right. We're having a party and coming on with love in spite of the fact that they're coming from a violent space. See, The crime is completed by, created by that energy. The police create the crime, in effect. And the Rainbow family is actually set up without this, but they infiltrate, they send in their agents, and they create this. Come on, we'll protect everybody. Well, so they run around with guns and swords and threatening everybody. You know, it's not, that's the reality of it. It sounds good that they're going to protect us, but we don't really need it. We can protect ourselves. I can take care of me and help a brother too, you know, a sister, whatever. And we're all responsible for each other, so we're all, there's no stealing, there's no crime, nobody gets raped, or we haven't seen a fight, everything smiles.
Can I ask you how old you are?
61. Yeah. There's a lot of older people around than me, though. There's a lot of them. We've got all ages, from 15, from babies, all right, on up to grandpops and grandmamas.
Someone said to me that that Taco Village, Taco Kitchen here was a lot of people who were involved in Taco Kitchen were people who had spent a lot of time on the streets a long time ago, you know, in the 60s.
Oh, we're all street people. I went down to New York, lived on the streets for 2 weeks just before the gathering, just sort of for fun, you know. I got a whole busload of people and equipment for the gathering, buckets and things we need. We scrounged all the dumpsters in New York City. I had $50 I'd solely got from selling cans on the street. And so we came up here with a whole load of stuff for the gathering. And that's what we build on here, is what people throw away. So we're doing
So there's a lot of food that comes to the gathering that really is stuff people have thrown away that is really perfectly good.
Yeah, well, particularly in the first month, we live on dumpster setting up the camps. But when the people come in, they all bring food. They bring in their homemade stuff, their canned goods, things they've grown, honey they've made themselves, and it's just beautiful. We grind a lot of our own flour from grain that people have actually grown. So the family is heavy into living in tune with nature and growing our own food and making our own. Oh yes, no bad. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Yeah. Well, a few on the outer ridges. This is it. See, we have a little for everything. The alcohol we sort of keep on the outer edge. No. We're not against anything, but you know. No. Alcohol's outside, and when you come in, it's pretty pure. No alcohol. Yeah.
I've got some.
Where are in the Rainbow family? Where different places? Where are they?
Oh, we're everywhere, but if we get too well established, you see, they'll run us out because everybody sees how happy we are and how successful we are. They'll all want to join us, and then they won't have any more niggers to run their factories and do their bullshit jobs. And
Peaceful vibrations between all the nations. Peaceful vibrations between all the nations. Peaceful vibrations between all the nations. Peaceful vibrations with all creation. With all creation.
If everybody was rainbow, Chrysler might have a hard time finding workers for their factory, you know.
We better not grow too fast. There won't be any cars for the rest of the people.
Well, you know, if they would just make parts for the cars they made already, they'd never have to make another car. Everybody could keep working, you know.
In your own life, did you, was there a part of your life where you lived sort of a straight life before you got?
I have done everything that's possible to do, I think. I've sold life insurance, I've had a broker's office, I've been a mechanic, a sailor, a diver, and a bum. I've done it all. Been in the restaurant business, all kinds of things, you know. Tried it all, but always been a rebel. This is the vehicle for change, the Rainbow family, because we are growing, and our aim is to be full-time rainbows. We have a lot of in and outers, you know. They'll work in the winter, and then they'll come out and be rainbows in the summer, and then they go back to the job in the winter. But it's you don't really have to support the system if you don't like it. You can live outside of it.
So you're a rainbow person all year round?
Yeah, yes, indeed. Full-time. Well, most of us are.
You full-time rainbow person?
Almost everybody you see here is full-time rainbow.
You know, it's almost like the biggest kept secret in the world is that the movement for an alternative future has been continuing and growing all the time, and yet no one in the media and everything like that is even noticing it these days.
No. They don't notice me because I'm in the garbage can while they're filming the story. I'm in there watching them, but I'm camouflaged.
Did you want to ask some stuff?
He's a good brother.
Yeah, they keep it a secret. Yeah, I've been in the family for about 2 years, full time, and 5 years before that it was kind of like, you know, half in and half out. Rainbow in the summer and working in the winter, but there's no going back now.
How do you survive?
Well, I trade items. I went down to Arkansas. I got some crystals out of the crystal mines. I go around trading them, selling them. I have other trade items too. Do odd jobs, but mostly I just get invited to live in people's houses, live in people's lands. So I have a bus, drive around. And, it's pretty good that way.
What do you feel is the thing that you're most giving to the world?
I personally do massage and polarity and various healing techniques. And I also contribute with my musical interests. And just good loving vibrations. That's all there really is.
How long have you been involved in Rainbow Gathering?
With all creation, again, peaceful vibrations between all the nations, peaceful vibrations between all the nations, peaceful vibrations between all the nations, peaceful vibrations with all creation.
About 10 years. 10 years, going on 10 years. This is my 6th gathering, but I've been involved with the family for quite a while. I guess ever since Woodstock.
What does it mean to be involved in the family?
Well, it means networking, helping with the Rainbow Guide, getting brothers and sisters off the street, don't have a place to stay, putting them up, helping put together construction crews, thinning crews, things like that that'll bring some more good energy back into the family.
Do you do it full time? Are you full time? Or do you also?
Well, lately I've been working in Aspen, Colorado, and then that's a little off the beaten path from the Rainbow. But I'm back home again.
Right now?
I don't intend to go back to Aspen. It's Donnie and Marie Town.
Just tell me a little bit about getting ready for this. What happened?
Well, people come and set up what they call a scout camp. And after the scout camp is established, they cruise the woods to find the best water sources and the best place to reforest it and get it back to its natural capacity before we got here. And look for a site where it'll be the best site to be at as far as ecologically speaking. And then after the family is done here and moving on, we have our own cleanup crew that goes around and plants seeds, plants trees, tears down all of our bridges and all of our man-constructed things and turns it back into the original environment. Forest Service love us. The land is better after we leave than it was when we came. We do a lot of slash burning, cleaning up so trees can reseed again and grow.
I know that basically, the Rainbow Gatherer considers the right to gather is, part of the Constitution and everything. Have you been forced to try to do the permit trip, or what's been happening with all that?
Yeah, in Arizona this spring, the regional gathering was blocked by the National Guard, and it was later settled in court. And we have the right to gather without a permit, without paying the fee, and it was ruled unconstitutional by a sympathetic judge, and the judge, in fact, recommended his favorite fishing spot, which is where we ended up a new place in that area to go.
You can read this.
How did the Rainbow family come to be?
Well, I guess it's the brothers and sisters from the Woodstock area. First, it started a reunion of Woodstock, so to speak.
Garrick and them. You ought to talk to. There's some brothers here that've been at the first one. There's one named Garrick. You want to talk to him?
Yeah, we're on our way to talk to Garrick.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. He'll tell you the early history of the family. Washington, I think, Drain, Oregon was sort of original home.
That's the original Rainbow tribe. Yeah. There are several tribes here, lots of tribes.
Well, now it's everybody. It's grown and grown and grown.
You called her. What do you want to be called?
I'm just Chris.
You're Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Margot.
Okay. Right.
So tell me about how the Rainbow family, in fact, how it all did begin.
Well, there are a couple of call them leading brothers, who were veterans who wound up coming back from different stages of states of confusion from the Vietnam War, and were active in Marble Mountain and a couple of other places, putting together groups of veterans working for peace. And they lived in the woods, and some of them, a couple of them, were very high visionary people. They had dreams, and they got carried out of their body and saw things in the way of, in the way that you read in Black Elk Speaks, things like that. And there was a lot of synchronicity that was happening, serendipity in the late 60s and the early 70s that brought a few very high energy people together in a couple of places in Colorado and Montana and out in Oregon, and these people became the nucleus out of which this whole gathering thing has come. Now, the gathering, though, didn't come through them as much as, well, it came through them. But this whole idea is something that's been going on since the beginning of the spirit wanting to have a body to live in, a body of people. And everybody here, in one way or another, is, all of us are seekers, and some of us have found, and some of us are seeking more, and this particular annual event is, well, especially for me, coming from Arizona, I work